kill, you don't lie, you don't steal, you don't become intoxicated, and you don't engage in sexual misconduct. Now, it's very important, right? Here's an important difference. These helpful suggestions are put in place so that your life will not become more difficult than it needs to be. If you have ever engaged in a behavior which was counter to those things, you know that sometimes you end up looking over your shoulder. You know, when is someone going to find out? Or when will there be consequences? Right? So in this practice, we practice morality as the first training. Let's make our lives as calm and as quiet and as peaceful as we can, and let's not get our stuff all over everybody else. The second thing that we train in is meditation. Okay? Look, the mind is like this monkey jumping from limb to limb on a tree. If you see, I don't know about you guys, okay, but the tapes run all day long in my head, right? And if I just sit someplace, they're still running. Have you ever you have a thought, and all of a sudden it jumps to something else, to something else, to something else, and pretty soon you have no idea where you began, right? Until we can quiet that, and until we can focus the mind, we can't use it to probe deeper, okay? So we stop getting our stuff all over everybody else so that our lives are quiet and we don't have all kinds of stuff going on in the background. We train the mind, we quiet the mind so we can use it as a tool. Because we have those things in place, we develop wisdom, okay? And wisdom comes out of those two functions. So anyway, my practice is basically like everybody else's practice who is in fact Buddhist. There's a daily practice where we do whatever it is we're doing. Right? It's not much different than Catholics who go to Mass on a daily basis. We spend time meditating on a daily basis. As I said, my experience with this path is that it has brought me to a place where I can be more contented. Right? If you were perfectly content, what is there to not be, what is there to achieve? What is there to avoid? I got a little story I want to share with you. That's not my story. Okay. But there was this young fellow who was born to a man and a woman and did not speak a word. And he was probably 8 or 9 years old, and he came down one day for breakfast, and his mother put the breakfast on the table, and she turned around and was washing up some dishes, and she hears this little voice that says, "Oatmeal's cold." She's shocked. She stops for a minute, and again, "Oatmeal's cold." She turns and she looks at the boy, and she said, "My God, you can talk. I mean, you haven't said anything for years." And he looked at her and he said, "Well, up until now, everything's been fine." Right? So the whole point here is, can we become content? Can we live our lives and take each instant just as it is, not asking it to be something it's not grabbing at something we don't have, not pushing away the things that we don't want. Understand that it's making those judgments of I like or I don't like, I want or I don't want, that's the real source of your dissatisfaction. But all of that's based on some things that you can work with. Okay? So anyway, my practice is really just trying to keep in mind those handy 5 helpful hints, to spend time meditating, to spend time studying the sutras, which are the actual written records of what the Buddha said, and trying to live life more in the moment, not about what did happen, not about what might happen, but to really be present. I was told you guys had done a little mindfulness exercise, is that correct? Understand that the only thing that is real is the instant in which you are right now. The past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. And when we spend all of our time focusing on what did happen or what might happen, we are missing the only thing that is real.